We have the 15 most upvoted Am I the Devil Reddit stories for you guys today for the month of August. I know, I'm behind. Don't make fun of me, okay? These are the 15 best Am I the Devil stories chosen by Reddit that I read for you live so that you guys can enjoy them with me and potentially get featured in my video. All the stories in this one are brand new. They are not repeats. And we're starting it off with my girlfriend scammed my sister. How do I help them repair their relationship? Ah, yes, that sounds like a relationship you can easily repair. But stick around for 14 more absolutely insane Am I the Devil stories, such as my negligence cost my partner her life and I'm about to lose everything. And yes, there is an update for this one and it is crazy. Last but definitely not least, because it was the most upvoted for the month, we're going to be ending the video on Am I the a-hole for punishing my daughter for not coming to my wedding? Juicy stories, you guys. As always, y'all know the drill. Let's lock in here and read some Reddit. r/relationship advice. My girlfriend scammed my sister. How do I help them repair their relationship? We have a 27 male OP, 32 female girlfriend, 20 female sister. Damn, that's insane, bro. So my sister fell for the dumbest scam ever. My girlfriend wasn't even trying to scam her. She posted a joke on her close friend story about how she could turn $1,000 into $1 million for anyone. It was a joke, but my sister messaged her and said, really? How so? So my girlfriend tells my sister about some fake banking thing she can do, and my sister sends her the money. Afterwards, my girlfriend just stopped responding and she kept messaging her until my girlfriend said, you're not getting the money back. What? Of course, my sister was angry and told me and almost told our parents, but I told her to keep it between us. I talked to my girlfriend about giving the money back to my sister and she said no, but for good reason. She wants this to be a learning moment for my sister, so she's keeping the money so my sister is more vigilant in the future. Right now it's $1,000, but in a few years it's $20,000 if we don't teach my sister to be more responsible. I don't agree with my girlfriend and think she should give her the money, but I see her point of view. Hey man, you can teach somebody not to fall for scams, not by fucking scamming them. Dude, she's not trying to teach your sister a lesson. She's trying to scam your sister of $1,000. OP's probably getting scammed by the girlfriend too, let's be honest. This whole family getting conned. Like, what do you mean? I told my sister that I talked to my girlfriend, but there's nothing I can do. She said no, and her response was, dump the whore. That's mad funny, which was completely disrespectful, and I told her don't talk about her like that. Right now, my sister isn't talking to me. She even removed me from social media. I'm going to give her some time. My birthday is coming up, so when she calls to tell me happy birthday, I'll try to mend things between us and her and my girlfriend. I would really appreciate any advice on how to mend things. Step 1, get some brain cells. If this is real, the intelligence is just in the toilet. The sex can't be that good where you're letting your girlfriend scam your little sister like that, right? There's no gorilla grip that could justify your sister getting scammed for $1,000. Edit. These comments are wow. I did a poor job and didn't add very important context. My girlfriend is one of the sweetest people there is. She's very kind. She volunteers and mentors a lot. She even helped my sister with her resume. I can also say this isn't about taking advantage of my sister like others suggested, because my girlfriend does decently well for herself. She genuinely feels this is a way to teach her a lesson because she cares deeply about my sister. It's not the method I would use, but she's coming from a good place. You know what? If you're this stupid, I think you deserve whatever shit is gonna come out of that relationship, bro. If you have this mindset, this woman could fucking cheat on him, murder one of his family members, and he'd be like, but she's just so sweet, and she has a good job, and she volunteers. She can't be evil, even though she did something fucking illegal to one of my family members. No, she's such a nice person. There's no hope. I hope the sister and the family go no contact with him and just let him fucking suffer. Edit 2, I can see the outrage in the comments and I hear you. My girlfriend comes from a good place, but I understand my sister's frustration. To solve this issue, I'm just going to give my sister $1,000 out of my own pocket. I'm telling you, y'all, he's just gonna get fucking scammed by this girlfriend for the rest of his life. Wow. Just wow. Hold on. OP left a comment saying she's not going to pocket the money. I should have mentioned this earlier, but the plan is to use it for something that can help my sister. She will either put it in a mutual fund or buy my sister something useful. Yeah, I know your girlfriend's stupid as fuck if she's putting the money in a mutual fund. Shit's a scam. Look it up. That's so crazy. That's just the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Just give her money back and be like, hey, next time don't trust people. But like, even so, you should be able to trust your brother's partner and not feel like you're gonna get scammed by them. What a fucking dog shit brother to bring somebody into the family who is a con artist. Like, I can't believe it, dude. This has to be rage bait. If that's real, that is just the most, oh my God, keep your fuckery to yourself thing I've ever heard. The sister did learn a lesson. She learned her brother has shit for brains and she can't trust anyone, including family. I mean, there's other ways to learn that. I mean, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't fucking fall for shit like this, bro. Are you kidding me? That's fucking crazy. If anybody tells you they can turn $1,000 into $1 million, I don't know who needs to hear this, but that's just not real. That just ain't real. Sister should call the police. That would be ungodly funny. I don't know if the police are gonna do anything about $1,000 though, you know? I think it's worth it to like maybe file a report, but I don't think they're gonna do anything about it. Small claims court. I mean, technically this is fraud. I don't think anybody's gonna prosecute it, but technically you can file something for fraud, you know? I don't think taking her to small claims would be worth it. I think that'd be worth a headache. I think the sister should go no contact and tell the parents so that the parents go no contact too. That one is in fact the devil. I will concede to that. Bro really knows how to pick them. r/off my chest. I ruined my wife's life. When I came into the picture, she pretty much had her life nearly perfect. She had her business in full swing and it was incredibly successful. She had her very active hobbies which she partook in every day and blended it well with her work. She was very fit and in great shape, which was maintained in part by her hobbies being active. She was really happy with life. Then I came along. We fell in love basically immediately, and within a couple months, she ended up pregnant. She was nervous, but I was ecstatic. She had the baby because she knew how badly I wanted a family. The pregnancy was hard on her energy-wise. It pretty much exhausted her to the point where she couldn't do any of her hobbies, which were all activity-based, so that was off to a bad start. As the pregnancy went on, her self-image took a plunge as her athletic body grew. Even though she bounced back to her pre-pregnant weight, she says she can barely even stand to look at herself in the mirror anymore. Giving birth was traumatizing. 36 hours of labor, her epidural failed, so she had to suffer through it naturally. Last-minute complications made it so they had to unexpectedly reach in and pull out our son, which was incredibly painful for her. And then the hospital staff basically abandoned her to her own devices. Didn't show her how to clean herself or anything. She had to YouTube it. They also completely forgot to give her her prescription pain meds for a disability the full 5 days we were there, so she suffered bad withdrawals, and ultimately they cut her off of them. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, bro, what are we doing? Let's get the lawyers rocking and rolling, because what the fuck is this paragraph? Sue them! Make the hospital pay! We came home and our maid basically let the house get filthy. The maid also let my wife's service dog out in the rain and then didn't dry him like instructed, so the service dog got skin infections. In parentheses, those were expensive vet bills, and then in another set of parentheses, yes, we let her go. Oh, the maid. I thought they meant the dog. I was like, you what? I think they meant the maid, which, I mean, fair. Then I had to go back to work right away because the job I got to insure us didn't offer paternity leave because of how new I was. And our baby was colicky, so it was hell on my wife to manage him while still trying to heal. And then when my wife did try to start her business back up, turns out it was almost undoable with a screaming newborn, which we preciously were led to believe that we could balance it between naps and such. But that was not the case at all. So my mother moved in to help watch the baby while my wife, the breadwinner, worked to keep a roof over our heads and I worked to keep us insured. Now we found out my wife is pregnant again, which I, of course, am thrilled about, but my wife, of course, dreads. Wear a condom! What are we doing? Also, what's the timeline here? How soon did you get her pregnant again? Also, we had a big falling out with my mother, who was getting controlling over how we raised our kid and tried to shut out my wife. So now she isn't in the picture, and because we need my insurance for the next baby, things are boiling down to my wife having to give up the business that she built to be a stay-at-home mom, which she hates. So basically, I came into my wife's perfect life, and 1, put an end to her hobbies, 2, ruined her self-image, 3, crippled her business, 4, stripped away her identity, and 5, put her through a traumatic event that may mentally scar her for her whole life. And to top it off, before people say, but you gave her a son, she doesn't love him. Every time she sees him, he is a reminder of how she was mistreated in the hospital. Every time he cries, he is a reminder of how she lost her business because of him. Every time he cries and wakes her up in the night is a reminder that her happy life is gone. I ruined everything that she loved and she knows it, and I hate knowing I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to her. Edit, just woke up and haven't gotten through all the comments yet, but I feel the need to clarify. When we found out she was pregnant again, I was the first to suggest abortion because I know how much she hated everything prior and 100% will back up her choice. But so far, that choice is to keep it because she doesn't think she could go through with an abortion. Partially because she knows I've always wanted a big family, partially because she wants this time to be different, and partially because her family basically demonized her at the thought of it, so she doesn't want to lose them. When I say I am thrilled, I mean because I've always wanted a big family, and that was something we originally bonded over until the regret of the first one set in. And thrilled that so far, she has decided to keep it. Okay, so I see y'all calling him a bad husband. Honestly, y'all, I need to hear your guys' thoughts because do I think this guy sucks in a lot of ways? Yes. But I think both of these people are making the wrong decisions here. I mean, like, realistically, in my head, the only things that he's done wrong is convinced his wife to have a kid way earlier, because if she wasn't ecstatic about it, that's red flag numero uno. But like, I don't know. I feel like that's like failure to marriage a little bit. And like, yeah, Kim Vamp, I'm kind of on the wave that you're talking about here, where like, I don't think her wanting a good experience with the second baby isn't fair, because if it goes well, she's gonna hate one kid and love the other. I also just think in general, if she already hates one kid, why are we bringing a second kid in the equation? And like, the other part that I don't understand is like, she's pregnant and she's worried about getting an abortion because of what her family will think, but her family doesn't need to know that she's pregnant. I think both as a parental unit are doing the wrong things. Now, I will say, because y'all are saying it in chat, she probably has postpartum depression, and that in itself is a big issue here too. But like, I don't know, this kind of feels like everyone is the devil here, but varying degrees. But here's the thing, y'all, is I don't even think everyone is the devil here. I think the fucking stars aligned, but the most demonic stars in the entire universe. First off, I'll say it, I think they're incompatible. Like, if she was saying like, I already am not really feeling having a kid, but then the husband is like super ecstatic, I think that's a huge red flag. Like, if there's a partner who's like kind of iffy about bringing a kid into the equation, don't bring a kid into the equation. Also, what are we doing that y'all are getting fucking pregnant so easily? Like, will somebody please get on birth control? Can we please use a condom? Honestly, y'all, I'm leaning more towards everyone sucks here. I don't even think they're the devil. I just think like problems keep popping up and they're not doing anything to try to like course correct. And one thing I don't understand is like, they have enough money to hire a maid, but then all of a sudden they don't have enough money to hire like a nanny. If the wife is the breadwinner and she makes all the money, it's important for her to keep running her business. She can't do that with a baby. So to me, it makes sense to like cut costs as much as possible to hire a nanny, or suck it up and let the mother help out. They just kept adding fuel to the fire. I don't think this is, am I the devil? Only OP? I think this is, y'all need to fucking recoup. You need to get an abortion because no way should another child be brought into this situation, and y'all need to figure it the fuck out. Whether it's you give up your child for adoption or something like that, because clearly you guys are not ready to parent correctly, and figure out if you guys are even compatible to be married anymore. Like, the fact that OP wants a big family and now the mother is realizing, oh, hey, that was awful, I don't want that to happen again. That's a problem. That's an incompatibility. I want to point out too, y'all, they're young as fuck. As much as like, yeah, they're adults, like this is brand spanking new. Do I think OP's great? Absolutely fucking not. Do I think that he's solely responsible for everything that's happened? Not really. It just sounds like a bunch of shit happened to them, and then them as a unit together did not operate correctly. To me, it doesn't even sound like they sat down and discussed the most logical solution. What I would have done in their situations, completely different than what they actually did. It's kind of fucking wild. It honestly sounds like he and possibly her family are pressuring her into the mom role. Here's the thing though, it sounds like it was very transparent that they wanted a big family, but now her mind is changing about that. I think he feels guilty for a reason though. I didn't read this paragraph and think this guy doesn't fucking care about his wife. He just wants to use her for her uterus to pump out all of his children. That wasn't my read from this. My read from this was, hey bro, you guys had one when she already wasn't really feeling it, and now her mind's changed, and now there's a baby in the equation, and y'all are making all the wrong decisions. What I will say is it's primarily on him to try to drive the best decisions, because she's dealing with healing from being pregnant as well as postpartum depression, which I will say at no point did he really identify that. Not saying it's solely his responsibility to identify it, but I think it's important when you have a kid, before you have the kid, to be read up on PPD be and have plan of action of what to do if it gets bad. Will say again, I think that falls on both partners. You can't expect the husband to be the only one who like makes that happen, but it's good to be nuanced on it and it's good to be educated on it. But I think it goes back to someone said like too many immature people having babies nowadays. That's what it sounds like to me. We have two immature people who had a kid and they're just doing everything wrong after that. And it's fucking crazy. The fact that you knew your wife had this awful experience with her pregnancy and you didn't wrap it? What are we doing? You know what? I'm willing to put that one on him. I'm willing to 100% put that one on him because you can't expect a woman who just pumped out a whole kid and is now healing from it to like go on birth control. I don't know the nuances of what that would entail, but that doesn't sound like a great idea to me. Wrap your shit, dog. Put a condom on and keep it on. I need OP wearing a condom 24/7 because bro loves to nut in his wife. I want to see the comments because like, are we completely blaming OP only? Oh my God. Went through his post history. Apparently his wife has an account too. Y'all, she's posting an r/regretful parents. Anyone here send their kid to boarding school? Yo, if you're thinking about boarding school already and it's still a baby, that's fucking... Y'all, can you imagine growing up and learning that your fucking parents were posting an r/regretful parents? I want to clarify, like, what's going on with her is really sad, but like, something about this feels really icky to me, y'all. I know the wife's mom apparently was like overbearing, but like, sounds like she was in way better hands than your guys's, because oh my God, y'all, this doesn't end. Postpartum brain is worse than baby brain. They're not ignorant of PPD and how that can affect a woman after they have a kid. Like, now knowing that like if she's bringing it up on Reddit threads, it's probably come up in conversation. The fact that he didn't mention it anywhere here is kind of a red flag on his part. Honestly, y'all, I'm still kind of on the wave. I don't think this belongs in Am I the Devil? This belongs in please get fucking help right now. Give that kid to a trusted adult. Get your wife in therapy ASAP. Get her an abortion because you guys should not be bringing another child into this world. And y'all need to reevaluate if your marriage even makes sense anymore. Oh, someone pointed out he's constantly posting on gaming subs while she is constantly posting on regretful parents sub. That says all we need to know. Oh shit. Oh my God. r/zombie survival tech. What the fuck? They're not only posting in gaming subs, but a couple God of War ones. I mean, maybe he deleted stuff too. I don't know. I see the comment about he's constantly posting on gaming subs, but then like he's also posting about like which is the best city to raise a child in. I saw another one up here about like it looks like bro is trying to get better jobs. Like he's asking about state job benefits, what jobs are way easier than people think they are, what jobs pay way more than people think they do. I don't know, dude. Y'all, is sending nudes considered cheating? I know this question is asked a lot, but my wife told me to ask Reddit, so here I go. To start off with, my wife is the one that sent the nude. She did it strictly for money, a lot of it, and she doesn't feel like she cheated. I will go into details of why she doesn't feel like she cheated and how this all came into light. Before we were together, my wife used to be a high dollar escort. All right, we're done. I FBI'd and now my brain hurts and I regret it, and her small business was being an escort. I wonder if it was, y'all. What I will say is that is an insane clusterfuck of a situation to bring a child into, and I think that is something people need to consider more before they have kids. Are you bringing your kid into a situation that they're going to be able to thrive in and that you are going to be able to properly take care of them? To me, that's on both parents. Now, do I think that OP probably pressured her? Yeah, 100%. I got more of the feeling that he was a bad person from reading his Reddit posts and whatnot, but I don't think this is like a he's solely responsible. I think the shitstorm hit and they were not in a position to handle that shitstorm, nor did they do the right things after the shitstorm hit. Wife of 10 years will only have sex with condoms. Posted in r/marriage. Ever since we unexpectedly conceived our child while she was on birth control and turned out to be the best thing ever, my wife makes me wear condoms about half through sex. I have a feeling turned out to be the best thing ever might be one-sided. She doesn't trust the pull-out method and refuses birth control due to the hormonal side effects. We've been doing this for about 6 years now, but I'm getting over it and considering a vasectomy. It's hard to stay hard the whole time with a condom on unless I take a little blue pill. It takes away from the intimacy and the feeling, of course. How many married couples use condoms? Is this normal? Like, I get it, condoms aren't the coolest thing in the world, but it's kind of just like, dude, what are we doing? I don't understand how some dudes are not fucking terrified of like accidentally getting a girl pregnant, because I know I am. This all goes back to bad sex ed, and it goes back to guys just fucking thinking with their dicks all the time, bro. Like, if your wife is going to have sex with you and her parameters are put on a condom so I don't get fucking accidentally pregnant again, your brain should go, okay, condoms are mandatory, and if I don't want them to be mandatory, it's time to fucking snip my shit. It's so dumb. My guy friend doesn't want kids but doesn't like using condoms and doesn't like birth control for his girl. You're friend's a fucking idiot. Stop being a big whiny baby bitch and put on a condom. He doesn't like birth control for his girl. If a guy is like, I don't like you choosing to be on birth control because I want to control that, that's a red flag and a half, chat. That's probably not a guy you should date. I don't know who needs to hear that. Yeah, bro, I mean, just normalize more dudes getting a vasectomy. Like, what a bunch of fucking babies. Oh, I don't know if I want it. Bro, the second I'm like, no more fucking kids are coming out of the sack, snip, snip, and we're coming inside of my wife. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say shit like that. That's really... Posted in r/romantasy. Help. Author suing me for saying her book is AI in a review. This is the only thread I have posted about this. Please stop making fake joke threads, pretending to be me, and changing details to make me sound worse. I would have liked to delete this, but now I can't because this is the only place I can say those posts are not mine. I am leaving this here, so there is some kind of evidence of this, because several people have reached out and told me the author is most likely trying to punish me by making me pay legal fees and consultations, and she is most likely not going to take this to court, but I am scared she will go further if she thinks I am posting crazy threads everywhere. To those of you who have reached out to help me and support me because you have been there too, thank you. Is this a common problem? Getting sued by authors for your reviews on their books? A few months ago, I read a book that was recommended here, obviously not naming it because apparently I'm already in enough trouble, and found an obvious AI line. Let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. I was suspicious right away. I kept reading and found more things that didn't even make sense. She padded across the floor, for example. That would be okay in a shifter romance, but humans don't pad. Characters were doing generic things like dragging their hands through their hair, clenching their jaws, and arching their eyebrows. A side character's name changed too, and only for one sentence. I don't want to post my exact review because I don't know if I should be talking about this online in the first place and don't want to bring more attention to it. I'm going to tell you right now, if this is real, Opie should definitely not be talking about this online. But all I said was that the book is AI and explained how I could tell. That's literally all I did. But the woman is suing me. I've been panic Googling for like 48 hours straight, and apparently she has to prove what I said was false. But how can she prove she didn't use AI? I'm a grad student. I have $73 in my bank account. I can't afford to deal with this right now. I'm literally so broke that I got the book through other means. So I'm wondering if the fact I didn't make a purchase might actually help. I know this is a stretch, but I'm in full panic mode. Chat, I'm not familiar with the book world. Does this mean that they like illegally downloaded it? I have really bad anxiety and she is a big enough author. I think she has the resources to follow through. Should I message her and apologize and promise to delete the review? I would have already deleted it, but I feel like that's my only leverage at this point. Help. Edit, I'm in Florida if that matters. Editing again because I was advised to not send anyone else pictures of the papers. But it was confirmed they are legit and not boilerplate. The author is in the US as well, so I don't think I can ignore this. And yes, this is a throwaway. My main has links to my GR. I'm not doxing myself. Chat, am I fucking tripping? Or is this not devil worthy? If you read a book and you think it's written by AI and want to leave a review that says it sounds like it was written by AI, you should be allowed to leave that review. What do the comments say? Let out a breath she didn't know she was holding and she padded across the floor have been in many books before AI. This is the first time OP ever read a book. A line being overused or cliche in fiction writing doesn't make it. Listen, do I think that maybe their claim that the book was AI has no merit to it? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's completely wrong, but suing someone over a single review over their book is fucking dumb. Why are we on the author's side? Yo, people write dog shit stuff about me all the time on the internet. You know what you do? You fucking ignore it. If I tried to sue everybody who didn't like my content on the internet, I wouldn't be able to do anything else. And also, I just think it's stupid. It can be considered defamation. Why? It's a singular review. I don't get it. Like, if somebody leaves you a bad review, you shouldn't be able to sue them. I don't know. I mean, hopefully they were careful with their words and they said the book sounds like AI and not the book is AI. To me, the person closer to the devil in this story is the author. As somebody who makes stuff and puts it out there, you can't put your shit out there without expecting some some fucking moron leaving a really stupid take that has absolutely no merit to it. It's gonna happen. That's the nature of putting things out into the world. There are so many people in this world that at least one person is gonna pick it up and say some really dumb shit about it. And you know what you do? You ignore it. If it blew up, yeah, sure, maybe. But I don't think the answer is to sue them, because in my opinion, suing somebody just is like you being a fucking petty bitch about it. Unless they fucking ruined your life, it's just good marketing. Like, I could probably find a review of my podcast, a comment that I think is defamation, isn't true. Am I gonna fucking go and sue them? No, because I have better things to do with my life. Hold on, let me pull up Apple Podcasts, because I'm sure some people are saying some fucking stupid shit. This comment, 1 star, very left-leaning, will take the leftmost opinion in any discussion, will take the woman's side in 99% of cases. They have to have committed a crime to do wrong in his eyes. Will pass up 0 opportunities to dunk on anyone he thinks is right of center, even if the story mentioned absolutely nothing political. Oh, we'll take the woman's side 99% of the time. Hey, let me go through every single one of my stories. It's actually 93%. And oh, actually, I just read a previous story where I actually dunked on the wife, even though that she didn't commit a crime. Like, I said that she did some stuff wrong. Man, that person's defaming me. Let me go sue them. Do you know how fucking dumb that is? It's so stupid. Like, the only reason... Oh, I've never seen this comment before, by the way, because I don't fucking care. There's always gonna be some moron on the internet who thinks they're all that and who thinks their opinion matters, and they're gonna fucking leave their little comment and they're gonna leave their little 1 star. And you know what I could do about that? Get upset. Let it ruin my life. Pull up a defamation suit and send it to them. Or I could just make another video and keep making money off the thing that pays my bills and that I enjoy in life. I'm sorry, but if you do the former, not the latter, you're a fucking loser in my eyes. Like, I genuinely think, y'all, this author's a loser. We shouldn't be posting this in Am I the Devil for OP? We should be posting this for the author. In all fairness, most suing cases are stupid. You know what, Judas? You're totally right. But I just think if you're like a big, like OP said, this is a big author. Like, just shrug it off, man. This is the shit you deal with when you're some sort of public figure. I'm not gonna sit here and compare myself to like a famous author or anything like that, but like, I have a decent amount of people watching my shit. And I think I act accordingly. This author needs to act accordingly. If the author hadn't paid attention to the comment, it wouldn't have gained so much traction. Exactly. Honestly, y'all, if I had never read that comment to you guys, that comment would have been lost in the ether. Nobody cares. If I saw a review calling it AI, I would just like make a video about how stupid that claim is and then be like, hey, if you want to read my supposedly AI book, come up with your own opinions. Buy it at the link in my bio. Boom. Increase book sales. I'm gonna fucking stand on business here and say this author is a piece of shit. This author is the devil, if there's any devil in this story. If I learned that my favorite author was suing somebody because they said their book was AI, I'd be like, you're fucking petty. Just ignore them. Why are you giving them the time of day? Suing is a bit far, but if the reviewer is claiming outright that the story was written with AI, that's definitely akin to defamation. I don't think it is, bro. If there's a singular review of somebody being like, I think this is AI, like, okay, cool, really stupid opinion, but I'm gonna move on with my life. Like, that's stupid to me. It's such a dumb thing to get sued over. Like, we've all left a 1-star review on something because we were mad about it and we didn't like it, whether it was right or not. Should we get sued for it? No. The author is abusing their power and money to try and intimidate them. Exactly, Squiddiot. That's the real devil there. I still can't believe that was put in Am I the Devil? I can't believe that. That is just the worst Am I the Devil story I've ever found. Like, not even close. r/true Christian. How do I deal with a liberal spouse? When my wife and I married a few years ago, I was hesitant. She had been away from the church for years before and only knew liberal mainline Christianity. As we were dating, she eagerly moved towards biblical Christianity and began joining me for church and small groups. I always stressed to her that raising my kids in the faith and having them either homeschooled or going to Christian school has always been very important for me. She agreed that we would send our kids to Christian school before we got married. After marriage, everything changed. She no longer wanted to change her last name, something she was verbally eager to do before the ring. She decided she no longer wanted our daughter to go to Christian school and didn't want to stay at home with her. her. She wanted to develop her career and now wants our daughter to go to public school. There are so many other things like this, but those are a few. She now identifies as a liberal or progressive Christian. I feel completely lied to and feel deep regret in trusting her. I feel stupid for marrying someone who doesn't believe the same things I do. The differences boil up into constant arguments between us. I mean, bro, you shouldn't feel stupid for marrying someone who doesn't believe the same things you do. You should feel stupid for believing the things that you believe. Here, I fixed it for you. Don't worry, little guy. You'll get there, hopefully. Has anyone else dealt with a spouse like this? They lead you to believe that they are someone they are not before the wedding, and afterwards they are nearly the opposite. Or perhaps I simply didn't dig deep enough and didn't trust my hesitations. I'm really hoping that someone with some experience in this area can share some insight for me. What's the point of this post? What do we mean how to deal with a liberal spouse? Like, this low-key sounds threatening. Hey guys, so did you deal with your liberal spouse by locking them in a cage and not letting them out until you brainwashed them into voting for the orange Oompa Loompa? Like, what do you mean? Oh my God. Meanwhile, the wife probably just has basic human empathy. Ding, 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 ding. I have a feeling, chat, and this is just me making an assumption. I feel like this could be age gap, very younger woman relationship. I think there's a reason he did not provide any ages here. This is purely speculation, but based on this story, I guarantee that he roped her in really young when she was impressionable and just wanted to get married. And then as things unfolded and she started making up her own mind about shit, that's when she changed everything. I don't think she bait and switched him. I think she probably just became an adult with her own ideas, and that did not align with what her brainwashing husband wanted her to think. That's the vibe it's giving for me. Oh my God, hold on. This is what I was looking for, was like comment history stuff. And this person said the comment history has the real nightmare stuff, constant comments in dead bedrooms when his wife is 10 months postpartum with postnatal depression. Yikes. My wife has her own thoughts and opinions. I thought she stopped doing that before we married. Anyone else dealt with this? Dude, that's like genuinely how I really think a lot of dudes think. Like, it's fucking scary. It's giving, I think my wife is my possession. Absolutely fucking terrifying shit. God forbid people learn as they grow older and educate themselves. No, for real, Stark. Men who expect their women to be brainless clones of their ideas are the scariest type of men. No, actually. What is up with these dudes having this obsession with power? I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, it honestly turns me off when girls are like always like asking me for shit. I want them to be their own independent person who comes up with their own independent ideas. I mean, for fuck's sake, sometimes I want them to tell me what I need to do. It doesn't feel like a team. It feels like a master servant. It's disgusting. r/relationship advice. How do I get my girlfriend to be more intelligent? We have a 24 male OP and a 27 female girlfriend. My girlfriend is amazing, but she has never been the sharpest tool in the shed. She is great though, and very book smart, but struggles with abstract concepts. She's a pharmacist, so she's not dumb, but doesn't think deeper. When we met, I had just permanent change of station to Fort Meade. Just really quick, for somebody who's writing a post ragging on his girlfriend's intelligence, he makes an insane amount of grammar mistakes. Bro, if you're gonna fucking leave a post about how dumb your girlfriend is, at least write it well. I was going out DC for first time, and I didn't know anyone yet, so I pulled off the greatest move ever. No fucking clue what any of that means, by the way. I'm super proud of this one. You ever hear guys complain about the ugly friend blocking you from going to the hot friend? Well, fellas, let me put you on. The key is to include the other friend in the conversation. It's a good tactic if you don't have a wingman. So let me get this straight. Your brilliant, intelligent tactic was just when you go start a conversation with multiple people present, you include all of the people? Oh dear Lord. Still, when I started talking to the two, I realized the less attractive friend and I had deeper, more abstract conversations, which I love. So much that I considered talking to her instead. I got both of their numbers and didn't flirt with neither. It's either you fucking dumb. I can't. Chat, we're not even 3 paragraphs in. Oh dear God. But her friend disqualified herself. See, I'm big into fitness. Unfortunately, she is not, but I figured this could be an investment. I told her how much I enjoy working out and eating healthy and asked her if she wants to work out together. She makes jokes about her weight and said, "Do I look like I go to the gym?" and made a comment about how she knows she's not healthy, but everyone has a vice and she enjoys it. So I pivoted to my girlfriend / her friend who genuinely has the greatest body ever. Didn't fucking ask, by the way. Hey man, aren't you supposed to be ragging on your girlfriend's intelligence, but instead you're bragging about how you picked her up with the most douchebag mentality ever, and in the process have proven that you have no idea how grammar works? Still, I like having our deep abstract discussions and get it more with my girlfriend's friend than with her. I love my girlfriend and even leaving active duty in the Air Force and just go to the Y'all, I read that verbatim, by the way. That was not me fucking up the read. That was me reading exactly how he wrote it. Usually I fill in the blanks. I try to fix it, but you know what? This guy doesn't deserve it. Let's just read it exactly how he wrote it. I love my girlfriend and even leaving active duty in the Air Force and just go to the Air National Guard or reserves. Period. Even leaving active duty. What? Like, I can't believe this is about her intelligence. I'm losing my fucking mind right now. But I want her to develop the more complex, abstract thoughts. For example, last night I made a deep thought about the stars in the universe and it went over her head and she didn't respond and just said, "I love you," and kissed me on the cheek, got up and started cooking. Like, question mark, question mark, question mark? Her friend would respond with something that grows the conversation. Love her a lot and our relationship has grown, but I'm trying to get her from an A- to an A+ when it comes to our conversations. Normally it is great, but when I'm in the mood for abstract, deep conversations, she can't pick up on it. As we go into year 2 of our relationship, in parentheses, we just celebrated our anniversary, and started living together, I just want to continue to grow with each other. I just know whenever he talks about I made a deep thought, it's just some stupid shit that like he thinks is revolutionary, game changer. I'm sure his girlfriend is probably just like, you just said the dumbest shit of your life, but I love you. Douche aside, he's falling in love with the potential of the girlfriend rather than who the girlfriend actually is. I mean, he's also a fucking douche about it. Like, listen, bro, if you really need the abstract conversations or whatever, go find somebody else to date. Like, you should have been with the other friend, but unfortunately, you're just so shallow that you couldn't be with her. Like, I don't know. It's giving a guy who thinks his shit don't stank. Castrate. His deep abstract thoughts probably make just as much sense as his writing here. I really do think, y'all, there are some people who think they're so deep and abstract, but really they're just like perpetually asking the dumbest questions of their entire life. R/true off my chest. Our newborn is making me see my wife as stupid and it's turning me into an a-hole. I feel awful and need to stop. The newborn, by the way, is 1 month old. Oh God, here we go. Guys, I'm in a really bad place and I need a reality check. My wife is my best friend. I love her. She's a great person. Kind, loyal, all of it. We've been married for 3 years, but I feel like my wife is slow. I know that sounds horrible and I feel like a total a-hole even typing it. For years, it's been a thing. She needs me for anything technical or requires problem solving. Like, I've had to FaceTime her to show her how to find something in her banking app multiple times. It's not just tech stuff either. It's a bunch of things. We have a totally different sense of humor. I had to literally explain to her what a meme was a while back. And I'll be honest, for a while, I didn't mind. I'm an IT guy, so this stuff is easy for me. Part of me liked being the guy who could fix things for her. It made me feel needed, you know? It was just a little quirk, not a big deal. But now we have a 1 month old baby. And it's like this small issue has become a monster that's destroying everything. She just doesn't get it. How to hold him right. How to change a diaper without him screaming. I show her over and over. She tries. I know she's trying so hard, but it's like she does everything wrong. She'll do something that makes no sense and the baby starts wailing and I have to step in. I've read about mom brain or whatever, but shouldn't she be more in tune with the baby? I feel like I'm the one who knows what he needs and she's just fumbling. And my patience is just gone. Completely shot. I'm snapping at her, I'm being sharp and critical, and I can see in her face that I'm just crushing her. And then I feel like the biggest piece of shit on the planet. This has to be my fault. We're both so tired. I know this is supposed to be a team effort, but I'm acting like her drill sergeant, and a shitty one at that. I'm hurting the person I love most when she needs me the most. How do I fix this? How do I stop being so angry? Has anyone been here before? I feel like I'm ruining everything. Like, you know those baby classes that a lot of people take before they have a kid? Like, I really do wish all that was mandatory. Like, if you're gonna bring a kid in this world, I feel like you should know how to hold him right, how to like change a diaper and stuff like that. But also, she literally just gave birth to this kid. She is not in any comfortable situation to be taking care of a kid with absolutely no hiccups. And there needs to be patience there. And it sounds like you literally have absolutely no patience for your wife. Like, as much as like, yeah, maybe there's a couple things a wife should figure out, I think it's mostly on you to A, help her figure it out, B, support her because she's in a vulnerable state, and C, not get mad at her in a way that puts her down and makes the situation worse. Like, if anything, my recommendation here is y'all need to take a parenting class, or at least should have taken a parenting class before you pumped out the baby. But then on top of that, you need therapy, if not anger management, because that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you have a weird anger management thing that, like, I guess maybe now is just coming out, but I don't know. I doubt it. I feel like if you have a kid, you got to be prepped. The guy is being smart and saying he's being a dick, but the wife needs to cut some... Wait, why does the wife need to cut some slack? Not gonna lie, Soph, you're the a-hole. I don't agree with that, Mega. Listen, maybe we should give him props for understanding that he is getting angry at this and he shouldn't be, but I don't think that's worth a soft, you're the a-hole. Like I said, the wife needs to figure it out. As much as she needs slack here, if you're gonna bring a baby in this world, you should at least know how to hold it. All that being said, it's no excuse for him to become angry at her, because that makes the situation much worse. She's also in a very vulnerable state. So I don't know if soft, you're the a-hole. I still think OP is a pretty big a-hole, close to the devil, because like realistically, I think he's the main problem in this situation. Maybe the wife struggles with learning new skills, but it sounds like the husband started from a place of disrespect. That's how I feel. It's like, dude, you're a month into having this kid. You need to have a better grace period than a month. I could pretty understand, like, maybe if she's just objectively bad with kids, I could see maybe getting upset at that. But bro, like, you're a month into this shit. She just pushed a whole child out of her vagina. Like, she's recovering from that. She's dealing with all the issues that come with being postpartum. Like, give her longer than a month before you start yelling at her. And honestly, you shouldn't be yelling at her in general, but before you start getting upset at her is what I should say. I don't know, man. Something feels wrong here. He seems quite self-aware and almost distressed at his response. What do you mean, Rosie Posey? That's an important thing to point out. Like, if there's any argument for why he isn't the devil necessarily, it's because he's identifying that his reactions aren't good. But I think the solution isn't go to Reddit with it. The solution is get yourself in therapy and open up the conversation with your wife. But getting mad at her and becoming her like drill sergeant is not the answer. Interesting. The top comment is, this has more to do with the stress of dealing with a newborn than any problem between you and your wife. It should get better as the baby grows up. This feels too like, oh, it's whatever, it'll fix itself. Because I think there is some deep issue here. Like, I do think OP needs to figure out why he's so angry. I mean, maybe it's the stress, but even when you're stressed, that doesn't give you an excuse to react poorly to your partner. And it's honestly even more concerning that you can identify that you're reacting wrong, but don't know how to fix it. You're in this endless loop of, I react poorly, I feel bad, and instead of trying to figure out a way to fix it, I just do it again and again and again. Like, that's not sustainable. And I feel like this comment is just kind of like, oh, it'll disappear eventually, but I don't think it will. If this wife is truly somebody who kind of needs things explained to her more, it's not like taking care of a kid is super easy and there aren't things that you are going to have to figure out for your kid at all times. This is good too. A lot of people are pointing out that like babies do be crying and it's not like a sign of failure. That's something I did not point out, but that's a good point. Like, if the baby's crying, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means the baby's a fucking baby and it's crying. It honestly sounds like they've grown incompatible. I think this is a scenario that could have happened, but I also think it could be maybe OP isn't telling us like he hasn't had very much sleep, he's stressed out from work, whatever. Like, I could also see something like that playing into his like perspective about her little quirk of needing everything explained to her. But I think what you're saying is completely merited too. Like, maybe he got to a point where he's like, oh, this isn't something that I realized I want to deal with anymore. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to leave instead of my parents after they fought about her religion? So I don't know how to start this, but I guess here's some important context. I'm 31 male. My wife is 29 female. We've been married a little over a year, but together for 5 overall. My parents are super Christian. I grew up that way, but I don't really practice. A bit more agnostic, but I just kind of go along with whatever to keep my family happy. My wife is Hellenic, and she takes it really seriously. She's got 2 altars in the house, one for Aphrodite in the living room, and another in her walk-in closet for Dionysus. She does festivals, offerings, all that. It's never been an issue for us. My parents have never really liked it though. Even before they moved in, my mom joked once if we were planning on having gods raise our future kids for us, which I admittedly laughed at, and my dad refused to eat bread my wife baked at our Christmas dinner a few years ago because it didn't have the proper blessings until I pushed him to because it came after one of her holiday things. My mom also said she worried she was inviting dark spirits in stuff like that. Bro, please don't tell me you sided with your insufferable ass parents over your own wife. Come on, dog. Anyways, back in April, my dad lost his job and they couldn't pay rent and their landlord kicked them out. They had nowhere else to go since my sister doesn't have the room and anyone who would take them in lives out of state. So we let them stay with us. It was supposed to be short, but it's been 4 months now. Since they've been here, it's been a bit of a nightmare. My mom accidentally broke one of my wife's offering bowls in the living room and then said maybe it's a sign those things shouldn't be out in public where people can see. My dad has made a couple comments about praying for her soul unprovoked. Then my mom actually sprinkled holy water around our bedroom and in my wife's closet, where she keeps her Dionysus altar. My wife freaked out about that, but my mom said she was protecting us and our spirits. My wife's been saying for a while that she feels like she's not welcome in her own house. She's cried about it and we fought about it because she says I don't stick up for her. I get that, but I've done little things. Like I've told my parents not to touch her altars. I've made sure they don't rearrange her offerings. I've asked them to leave her room alone, even quietly told them they're crossing a line when they make comments. It's not like I do nothing. I just try to do it without lashing out, because if I yell it out every time, it would be a fight every day and nothing would get done. I would argue that sometimes doing a little bit is worse than doing nothing, because it's like you're almost there, but you're just so dumb or so spineless you can't follow through with it. Like, bro, this is my parents, because like my mom's a little religious, and if we were ever in this situation, I would be like, hey, you stop the fuck shit or you stop living here. I'd be like, you got 3 strikes, bro. Use those strikes carefully, because you get to the 3rd one, I'm kicking your ass to the curb. I don't give a fuck. That's what OP needs to say. His, oh, I haven't done nothing is just you being a spineless little bitch. She says that's not enough, and I get that too, but I don't think it's fair for her to say that I don't stick up for her at all. So things have been tense between us. I hate that, man. It's like, oh, you're right, but I just don't like that you put a generalization that I don't help you at all. I do a couple little things. I sometimes say shit to my mommy, like, nut the fuck up. This is your whole ass wife. In early July, she wanted to celebrate this festival, Aphrodisia, but that morning my parents said there was an emergency with their storage unit and they needed her help because she had a car and I would be at work. She spent the whole day helping and didn't get to do the first day of her celebration and had to cover shifts for her coworker for the next 2 days. My wife didn't really speak to my parents for a bit after that. So last night she decided to finally do it late. She had a couple of friends over and set up in the living room. My parents walked in halfway through and my mom said she wasn't comfortable with that sort of thing in the house. And my dad said he couldn't allow false idol worship under his roof. Bro, they would get the fastest fucking boot of their life. No way you're gonna walk into somebody else's house rent free and tell them how to live. That's fucking insane. If OP doesn't kick them out after this, OP's just clearly in the wrong. My wife yelled that it's her house too, and they already ruined it for her once. My dad yelled back that she was dragging me away from God. Her friends were sitting there looking uncomfortable, and so was I. You were there and you didn't say anything. Bro, you're such a fucking baby back bitch. I hope your wife fucking leaves you, bro. She deserves someone who's not gonna be a big old pussy. I didn't know what to do. Everyone was screaming and I panicked and told my wife to leave until things calmed down. She just stopped and looked at me, then went upstairs, grabbed some of her things, and left with her friends. She better come back with the divorce papers, because fuck OP. My parents were kind of relieved after, like I finally did something right, but now my wife isn't answering my calls and texts now after I called her a few hours after she left, and there, she said she was tired of fighting to matter as much to me as my parents do. I know it's messed up that everything got to this point, but honestly, if she hadn't started yelling like that and dragged her friends into it, maybe it wouldn't have blown up. Am I the a-hole for asking her to leave instead of them? Bro, fuck this guy. I don't even want to give advice to this asshole because he doesn't deserve it. If you are blaming your wife for what transpired, I hope she divorces your ass and I hope she takes all of your fucking money, you spineless little bitch. I can't believe it. Edit, I can't reply to everyone, but I've read a lot of comments and I know I messed up bad. I feel awful for how I treated my wife, and I get now that telling her to leave her own house instead of standing up to my parents was the worst thing I could have done, along with the other things that had happened. I'm gonna talk to her and apologize properly. Also, I've been getting some really nasty DMs, including death threats, which is not okay. Don't send him death threats, but I'm glad that people are telling him how fucking shit he is. Please tell me there's an update of like, my wife left me because I'm a spineless piece of shit. Nothing. Boo. Boo. Just what an absolute fucking loser. Hey, y'all, don't marry someone if you're not gonna go to bat for them and what they believe in, especially if it's like not anything against what you believe in. Like, it's not like OP was super Christian as well. Bro's agnostic. Like, hey dog, sack up. You're an adult now. Tell your parents that if they want to do their little sky daddy shit, go do it under their own roof. But if they're living underneath yours, they can fuck right off. That's insane, bro. If I ever pulled some shit like that on my wife, y'all, I just want y'all to take me out back, put me down Old Yeller style. Fuck it. I deserve it. r/true off my chest. My negligence cost my partner her life, and I'm about to lose everything. And the title on this one is Holy Shit, His Update. There is a content warning on the original post for violence/death. This one could be heavy, also. If you can't handle a heavy one, click off. I, 35 male, had been married to Lisa, 28 female, for 3 years, together 7. 28 and 21. I can't imagine dating a 21-year-old, y'all. A year ago, I fell deeply in love with Amy, 24 female, and had been planning to end my marriage for her. I know it's terrible and not what my wife deserves, but we were the real thing. 2 weeks ago, she had an allergic reaction when we were getting food after work. She used her EpiPen and seemed mostly okay afterwards. She usually gets checked at the hospital after a reaction, but I asked if I could take her home and she could get her friend to drive her there because my wife was expecting me back. All I know is that she had a second reaction that evening and died. I didn't even find out about it until the following Monday through a work email. It has been eating me up ever since, and I will never forgive myself for not sacrificing an hour of my time to possibly save her. Oh my God. I sent some childish messages to Amy when I didn't hear from her over the weekend because I thought she was angry I didn't take her to the hospital. I'm thankful she never saw them and ashamed that I assumed the worst. Our relationship was great and the highs far outweigh the lows, but I have always hated being ignored and I lose my cool when it happens. It is not a regular occurrence and I would have more than made it up to her. Yesterday at work, HR and legal were in the CEO's office all day and my manager ended up canceling our project meeting because he was with them all afternoon. I was on edge, but an affair isn't exactly a corporate crisis, and I thought something would have already happened if anyone knew. I am now 99% certain it was about me. A few hours ago, I received a message from Amy's phone which said, "This is Amy's brother, Tom. I want you to know it was me." What? He wants OP to know that the brother Tom has the phone now? Oh, wait, okay. He's foreshadowing. I see. I tried to call, but it went straight to voicemail and none of my messages have been delivered. I tried to call my manager more times than I should have, and he sent me a message saying, "Please don't contact me until Monday morning. I can't discuss anything with you right now." So it looks like my universe is going to collapse. I'm going to be fired and my wife will definitely find out why. All I can do is hope that Amy's brother only showed them the messages from that weekend and they were bad enough. I have no family except my wife and daughter and nowhere to go. There's a daughter in this situation? Dog. All my friends are either people I've met through my wife or my colleagues. On Monday, everything I've spent over a decade working towards disappears. I can't stop it. I can't talk to anyone about it. So here I am. I know cheaters are the devil, so I'm not expecting sympathy, but this is making my chest hurt and I need to get it out there. Moon said it best. He gets the trophy for being a devil. I mean, shit, bro. I hope OP gets punished. That would be the biggest evidence that karma actually exists, because what the fuck? Cheating on his wife, not caring adequately for somebody who just had a very dangerous allergic reaction. Like, I know he keeps saying stuff, but I feel like he's also at the same time, like, downplaying how bad this entire fucking story he just wrote is. Oh my God, that's painful. May this love never find anybody in chat. I can't believe that. That's fucking disgusting. Raya, you said it perfectly. I know my marriage is ending, but I'm still going to abandon my girlfriend who had an allergic reaction to make it home to my wife that is expecting me. I can't believe that, man. That's such an evil fucking combination of words I just read. Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion here about, like, did he kill her? I don't think kill is the right word, but he's definitely a little bit responsible for her death. Because if he would have just gone with her to the hospital to double check on her, she would still be alive. But instead, he insisted that she drop him off. I wonder what he messaged his lover. I wonder what he describes as some childish messages. Because here's the thing, y'all, is like, why did this get sent up to corporate? There must have been something in those messages that was worth the brother Tom reporting OP to his manager, to his CEO. Maybe he was offering her promotions to sleep with him or something. I don't know, y'all. Let's go to the update. They dropped us on the most insane cliffhanger. I need to know what happened. Here's the update. I've been consistently harassed for an update since posting, so please take it. Gloat because you're such wonderful people in comparison. Then stop following me around Reddit. I am suffering in the wake of my infidelity and unprofessional behavior as I knew I would. I understand that it is an appropriate outcome and I am taking full accountability. I was suspended from work on Monday and I'll probably be fired sooner than I thought. I'd hoped to be able to save money as HR built their case, but it looks like Amy's brother basically performed the entire investigation for them. After an excruciating 3-hour run-through of everything they had, I spoke to the founder and he recommended the solicitor I am now using. The solicitor? Does anyone know what that means? British people call lawyers solicitors. Got it. Thank you, Xenon. The issue is that the company has to come down hard to protect themselves because even though Amy's family doesn't have much chance of a claim, any suggestion of a cover-up could cause damage regardless. The founder still thinks my offer to pay them back will keep it out of court, and some more information has come to light, so it's not certain I won't be prosecuted. But I'm quietly hopeful. I can't afford to keep the solicitor if this goes much further, especially with a divorce on the horizon. Bro, I want to know what they have. Like, that's crazy, bro. Any suggestion of a cover-up could cause damage regardless. A cover-up of what? And some more information has come to light, so it's not certain I won't be prosecuted. What do you mean? Maybe he was a manager or something? I don't know. Like, I'm so confused, y'all. Things are not good with my wife. I'm still committed to making this as easy as possible for her, but I had to draw a line when it came to my daughter. When I got home from being unceremoniously escorted out of my office, she already had a bag packed for me. She wouldn't let me wait at the house until my daughter was back. She wouldn't let me check I had everything I needed. She wouldn't let me take the car, and she didn't care that I had nowhere to go. I spent 2 nights in a hotel, then went back when she refused to let me see my little girl. She tried to stop me, but we own the house jointly and it was my only option. My wife has family she could stay with, but she won't leave our daughter here and she's absolutely not taking her. So we're at a stalemate right now. I'm keeping out of her way as best as I can, which I appreciate is the least I can do. Y'all, everybody in chat who is calling him a narcissist, I think y'all are cooking. Like, this dude does not give a fuck about anybody except for himself. He doesn't seem that torn up about his soulmate dying. He doesn't seem at all remorseful for fucking up his family and like realizing that he betrayed not only his wife, but his little girl by cheating on his wife. Like, dude is just, me. I didn't have a place to stay. Even though I fucked it up, I went back to the house and make them uncomfortable by staying there because technically the house is jointly owned, so she can't kick me out. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dog? The Amy situation is quite difficult to talk about and a lot hasn't sunk in yet. It turns out that she didn't love me as much as I loved her, if at all. Her brother sent me images of her talking to her friends about me, and it's hard to believe they came from the person I loved, but they are real. Sorry to those who were heavily invested in me being a predatory abuser, but she and her friends had a good laugh about her manipulating me for money and a promotion. The role came with a big pay rise, and it looks like her plan was to treat it as free cash, then go work with one of her friends when it fell through. She knew I'd come under scrutiny whenever she messed up and assumed I'd keep stepping in to save her. She was right. All right, listen, not to talk ill of the dead, but it doesn't really sound like she was that great of a person either. I mean, she was also cheating with a guy who's married, so like, we kind of already knew that. We just didn't really address it, but that's crazy, man. Obviously, I'm completely humiliated. I was planning to give up everything to build a life with her, and she was treating me like a joke the whole time. My feelings are complicated, so please don't feel entitled to any expansion on this, but I no longer feel guilt over her death. Reddit acted like I kept her hostage while she begged for help. What actually happened was that I asked if she could ask her friend to take her to the hospital because I had to go home. She said that was fine because she needed to get some clothes back from her anyway, and I dropped her off as normal. Ultimately, she was an adult who had a better understanding of her medical needs than I did. I still don't know what happened between us saying goodbye and her death, but whatever it was, it had nothing to do with me. I'm sorry for her family's loss, but I bear no responsibility for her passing. That's crazy, man. That is not a normal human reaction. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's like completely 100% on him to like whatever, but like you definitely contributed to it. You at least had like a 30 to 40% responsibility in this because you should have seen her have an allergic reaction and knowing that her typical response is to go to the hospital for a follow-up. No matter what she says, you should be encouraging it and or actually supporting it to make it happen. If you think that you bear no responsibility for her passing, you are a sociopath. After Amy's messages to her friends were passed around, a few people quietly reached out with words of support. I assumed everyone would write me off like Reddit did as an abuser and predator. Now it's clear that Amy was using me. They see me as a fool who had then lost it all. It's beyond humiliating, but I have learned I'd rather be pitied than despised, and it improves my legal position with work. Bro, what about the fact that you just tore your family apart and caused this woman's death? I mean, I can't believe people are pitying you. Yeah, okay, you got fucking bamboozled because you thought with your dick instead of your brain. To be honest, bro, I don't think you're a victim. I think you're a fucking moron. They're small mercies, but I'll take what I can get. I remain filled with regret, and I will have learned many lessons by the time I get through this. I may have been deceived, but I'm a grown man who made my choices, and I take full responsibility for them. Crazy how you just said that you bear no responsibility for her passing, but yet you take full responsibility for your choices. Like, you chose not to get her to a hospital after a severe allergic reaction. Oh my God, I can't believe a fucking idiot like this was allowed to reproduce. I think this comment puts it perfectly. You know what I hear throughout this? Me. He betrayed his wife and someone is dead and all he's focused on is himself. Literally. So fucking ass, dude. That was just an absolutely terrifying fucking story, bro. A theory I've heard is that OP was using a company card to fund their date so his wife wouldn't see. Oh, that would actually make a lot of sense, Squidiot. Holy shit. Yeah, that actually adds up why there would be some fuck shit. r/relationship advice. My daughter had a baby recently and gave me horrifying news. Trigger warning, SA. We have a 52 female OP and a 32 female daughter. This post is essentially what the title says. My daughter recently had a baby with her husband, and when I went to go see the baby for the first time, she laid out some ground rules for the family. The majority of them were reasonable, like washing hands, no amber necklaces as gifts, respect her privacy, etc. However, she mentioned that her grandfather would not be allowed to be alone with her baby. I thought this was very strange and out of the blue, so I asked her to clarify. She simply restated that he was not allowed to be alone with the baby ever at all at any age. Oh no, I do not like where this is going. She's always had conflict with her grandfather. No matter what, she refuses to have anything to do with him and speaks poorly of him whenever given the opportunity. She won't go to family dinners when he is there. She won't spend any sort of time with him, and we had to fight tooth and nail to get him invited to her wedding. She has problems with other family members, but she's never had a problem being cordial with them. Her grandfather is the one exception. I mean, come on, OP. Can we put the puzzle pieces together? Like 2 + 2 = 4. Please, please. Like, it's right there in front of you. The answer is right there. We actually ended up in a screaming match when she was 22 about her behavior towards him, where she couldn't, or I guess wouldn't, provide any solid reason as to why she hated him beyond he's a dick. Yes, he's an a-hole, but no more than any other old man. Old men are just a-holes, at least in my family. I hate this, like, keep this piece shit in families. It's just so dumb. I tried to reason with her since he is nearing the end of his life and would love to meet his great-grandchild, but she was very firm with me. I felt so stupid because it took me forever to realize why she didn't want him around her baby. She looked at me and very firmly repeated that he was not allowed around her child alone under any circumstances. I asked what she meant by that, and she didn't say anything, just stared at me. Some people need it really laid out for them, but you don't need it laid out for you, girl. Like, put 2 and 2 together. I can't believe it. At that point, I started suspecting that he had done something very wrong, and when I asked my daughter what he did, she only said, "You know," and I don't want to say it or talk about it. I asked her again if he had done something to her, if he had touched her or anything like that. She just got teary-eyed and told me she didn't want to talk about it. I am devastated. I never thought him to be capable of that kind of behavior, but it does make sense. There were lots of things in my daughter's childhood that were abnormal. Infections, paranoia, depression, etc. that I had chalked up to our family's mental health history and just luck of the draw. I never thought he had anything to do with those problems. I am so lost now. We haven't talked since then, and I've been sobbing for hours. I can't stop. I don't know what to do, who to tell, if I should tell anyone at all. How do I navigate this? I love my daughter very much, but I'm having trouble coming to terms with the actions of my father. And this does have an update to it. This is so hard, y'all, because like the pull that I'm coming from here is like, if you're going to have a kid, let's be better about identifying shit like this. Like, don't have a child unless you have the intuition to be able to like suss things out like this. I don't know. I've never had a kid, but I feel like there were so many indicators that you just ignored. Daughter 100% tried to tell them a billion times. That's how I feel, Henry. I feel like there has to have been just so much, man. Sakura, that's awful. As a parent, you need to pay attention to your child. Like, it does really feel like, did you actually pay attention to your kid? I also don't really like her end result here being like, I'm devastated. I don't know what to do. Bro, how do you think your fucking daughter feels? Where's the, how do I support my daughter? How do I show her that I understand now and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make her feel comfortable and make up for me being so fucking oblivious. Like, it's all just like me, I. That's so crazy, man. Update, I visited my daughter this morning. She did not seem upset with me and was more excited about her baby than anything, which was lovely to see. I figured she just wanted to drop the topic, but I felt that it was important that I at least apologized. So fresh, bro. I'm sure she doesn't want to talk about it, but I felt that it was important that I at least apologize. I apologized for forcing him to come to the wedding. She was insistent that it was fine. I was insistent that it was not. I apologize for failing her as a mother and not being more aware of her behavior and feelings. Okay, that's definitely an apology that needs to be made. I promised her that if she would like, she would never have to even hear about her grandfather again. It would be like he never existed. Someone in the comments suggested I offer to get her wedding photos edited so that my grandfather wasn't in any of them, and she did take me up on that offer. I asked her what she wanted to do and made it clear that she would support whatever decision she made. She said that enough time had passed and she had gotten enough therapy on her own that his evil actions don't affect her as much as they used to. She said she doesn't really think about it anymore, only when she's around him. She does not want to pursue legal action against him. However, she does not want him to have contact with her or anyone else in the family. I told her that I would make it happen however I needed to. We talked for a very long time. I apologized for a lot. I made it clear that she's under no obligation to forgive me, as I wouldn't if I were in her shoes. We hugged a lot and we cried a lot. Listen, should you have been better? Yes, but this is good. There's a lot of accountability and a lot of steps being made to support the daughter. Even though this paragraph ended in me, the update is very my daughter, which a little bit of redemption from OP here. We will not be acting on anything until she feels comfortable, which she said might be a while as she is very tired and emotional postpartum. I will be quietly asking my mother not to allow my father around any of the children in our family until we get things sorted. My daughter gave me permission to tell my mother loosely what happened. My mother is a very private woman, so we both felt comfortable telling her. My daughter is well beyond that. She doesn't seem angry or hurt, but then again, she's had years to come to terms with this thanks to my lack of awareness. Her baby is very beautiful and healthy and is very calm, which will be good for her right now. She's happy and excited to be a mother. I won't fail my grandchild like I failed her, and I will never fail my daughter again. I guess there's an argument for if somebody's the devil just because they're woefully unaware, but like in my opinion, that is a reason to put this in Am I the Devil? If you're going to have a kid, please, for the love of God, do not be in denial when your kid is putting it out on the table for you. They are putting lines there, and sure, you gotta read between them, but like as a parent, you should be reading in between the lines for your kids. You can never expect your kid to be able to fully communicate properly things in their lives. You need to be actively looking out for them and actively doing your best to identify when they are being put in situations, and also too helping them navigate what they should do in these certain situations. Okay, I see a lot of you guys saying the mom isn't the devil. Don't get me wrong, I really like how she reacted here, but like I do think she needed Reddit to kind of shit on her a little bit. Also, if I became a mom, I would never want to think that my own dad would violate my daughter. I think you need to at least be like able to identify any signs. Like I do think not enough parents have the uncomfortable conversation with their kids about like, hey, like if an adult tells you that you can't tell me something, they're lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. I think this is a good wrap up to this. I'm glad we're more aware of things like this in 2025. It's more under wraps / less talked about openly in the 2000s. Agreed. And I think there's an argument for not the devil. But as a parent, it's your job to protect your kid as best as possible. And granted, we're given all the context beforehand. So like, I want to point out that a lot of your guys' arguments there is merited, but even with that context, a lot of the stuff she was bringing up seemed to be good enough indicators that should have raised OP's red flags earlier. That's why I think OP's the devil. The fact that the daughter had to lay everything out for OP and OP was so surprised is what probably concerns me the most, because a lot of the things that she was explaining beforehand to me were big enough indicators that there were some fuck shit going on that OP should have identified earlier. Do I think that OP is overall a bad person? No. But I think if you're gonna have a kid, you need to be able to protect them as best as possible. And part of that is just to have intuition to identify things. I want to clarify, she did somewhat redeem herself in the update. Do I think she has work to do? Yeah. For me, this is like a learning lesson. If I have a kid, I'm going to do as much research as I can to know the signs of this. There's no such thing as the perfect parent, but there is such thing as being the best parent as you possibly can, and I just don't think OP was there. I really don't. I think if her daughter believes she's always known, that's telling. You're kind of cooking. You're kind of cooking. Am I the a-hole for revoking my daughter's college fund? I know it sounds bad, but please hear me out. When my wife and I divorced, my daughter, 14 female, took my wife's side, which I was pretty upset and surprised about. She was 12 when we separated and we were very close, unlike her and her mother. I didn't hold it against her because she's a kid and didn't know any better, and I make the effort to see her. I love spending time with my daughter. Okay, sounds very curious. Like, why? It's a big red flag if she was closer to you, but then when you guys got divorced, she switched sides. That probably means you did some fuck shit. I met my current wife 4 years ago. She was pre-law and was planning on taking loans to pay for law school. However, about 2 years later, we were engaged and I didn't want her to take on any loans, so I offered to pay for her law school. She was apprehensive, but I wanted a good start to our married life and not want any loans hanging over our heads, so she agreed. Hold on, there's some fuck shit with this timeline. The daughter is currently 14 female. She was 12 when you separated, which means that if you met your current life 4 years ago, you cheated on your wife. And wait, about 2 years later, we were engaged. So you guys got engaged around the time when you separated from your wife. Am I doing the math right? Oh yeah, someone mentioned that there might be a big age gap as well if she's still in law. She was pre-law. So like, yeah, she probably was like 21, bro. She was probably still in school. Oh my God. I used my daughter's college fund to pay for my wife's school and planned on replenishing it so that my daughter would have a fund when it was her turn to go to college. I put a little money in each month. I honestly thought this was okay because when I had asked her about college at the time of doing this, she said that she wanted to go to a makeup school and be a makeup artist and that college sucks. Hold on. Let me get this straight. You thought this was okay because when you asked her about college at the time, she wasn't wild about going to college. But when you asked her about it at the time, she was 12. If we're following the timeline of 2 years later, they were engaged and OP offered to pay for law school. And at this time, OP's daughter is 12 and he's asking her at 12 about college. I mean, even if the daughter was 14 and you asked them to make a college decision, you don't trust a 14-year-old to make the right decision, let alone a 12-year-old. Like, in 6 years, a lot can change in terms of what they're interested in doing. Oh my God. Well, apparently her mindset changed because on Sunday we met up and she was talking about AP classes. I was surprised because I didn't think she was interested in school. I asked her if she was joking, but she said that she's aiming for CS at some top private college and that her dream is to start a startup business. She then asked me if she had a college fund and she wanted to know if she could add on an EC or get a job. Okay, so CS is computer science. EC is extracurricular. Okay, thank you guys. I told her the truth about her college fund and that right now there's not enough money for even a year at a private college. She then started crying and making a scene and told me that she couldn't believe that I chose my wife over her mom, and now I'm choosing her again over my daughter. Okay, there it is. We have it confirmed. OP's a cheater. I mean, we kind of were able to put that together, but now it makes sense why the daughter doesn't really like you, which is not true, since my daughter is getting a fund, just not private school tuition. She then called my wife a bunch of awful names that I won't say here. I told her that she's probably not going to get into a private school because she wasn't even serious about school 2 years ago. She called me okay, first off, what a fucking terrible parent to have your kid come up to you and be like, I have this dream. And it's pretty realistic. And for you to be like, nah, it's not gonna happen. Also, it's pretty fucking dumb for him to be like, you weren't serious about school 2 years ago. Oh, you mean when she was 12 in middle school? I would say a majority of middle schoolers that I knew when I was in middle school were not serious about school. She called me a shit dad and ran away until her mom came to get her. Her mom later called me angrily about what I said to her and said that my daughter is on track to win some prestigious science fair award, and I was way out of line with what I said and that I obviously don't know her. I was honestly so done with the BS she pulled and her attitude toward my wife, in parentheses, never has been good, and said that I'm probably going to revoke my daughter's college fund since she obviously doesn't deserve it with what she pulled today. My daughter is now refusing to see me and calling me by my first name. I still stand by my decision. Chat, we did it. We found a real devil. Oh my God. And then he drops so many edits. Y'all, I will bank money on this being edits being like, yeah, I know you guys are fucking shitting on me in the comments, but I don't deserve it. And here's why. I can't believe people like this are allowed to fucking procreate. Normalize making shitheads like this take some sort of test. And then if they fail it, we just castrate them immediately. I can't actually believe that you typed out this story story and actually thought people would be like, nah, bro, you're good. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You're totally in the right. And you're a great father. The divorce wasn't your fault. You should be with somebody who's probably like 20 years younger than you. Somebody needs to absolutely yeet that man off of a cliff. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody is giving him hell on Reddit because you don't leave paragraph edits on there if you didn't have people absolutely shitting on you. Let's read these edits because I'm sure that they're gonna be him realizing that he's in the wrong. Surely. Edit. I'm done with the rude comments about my wife. It's am I the asshole, not is my wife the asshole. Bro, I mean, your wife is an asshole if she broke up a marriage. If you want to be in denial about that, sure, bro, but we're gonna sit here and be like, your wife's probably a bitch. Not that you guys deserve any additional information, but my wife really is great. I'll accept an asshole judgment for me cheating, even though it's really not what I'm asking for in this post, but everyone seems to be hell-bent on it. I was a super a-hole for cheating. Happy? My wife wasn't. When we met, I was 32 and she was 20? We had a casual relationship and I didn't mean to start it, but she was so amazing and had such a vibrant personality and I was really depressed at the time, but she helped uplift me. I didn't tell her I was married, only that I had a daughter, and I know that it's bad, but I didn't feel married to my ex-wife at the time. I was so unhappy and she was too. My wife and I had an amazing relationship, and as she was going to be graduating college soon, she wanted to get serious. I really hope the wife is just using him for his money. Like, I genuinely would love to see an update on this. That's like, oh, hey, my wife just used me to pay for law school. She got a divorce, took all my money. Oh my God. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, that is still a fucking child. I'm so curious how you have a casual relationship with a 20-year-old when you're 32. You guys want to know how many fucking 20-year-olds I have the possibility of spending time with at the age of 27 casually? This many. There is no scenario in my life where I am around 20-year-olds in a casual manner. I told her the truth and my wife was upset, but she decided to forgive me. I proposed and introduced her to my daughter, and she hoped we would be a family. She was nothing but kind to my daughter. But my daughter was hostile from the minute she met her, never gave a chance. Bro, if you can't fucking understand that, of course your daughter's gonna be fucking upset that you cheated on her with some girl who's 12 years younger than you and at an age where she could easily be her older sister, you're so fucking dumb. You're so brain dead. Please go castrate yourself. My daughter and my mom would play cruel pranks on her. Like... Yes, I love that OP's mom is even in on this. Like, I sure as shit hope Kathy would fucking berate me if I ever pulled shit like this. Oh my God. My daughter and my mom would play cruel pranks on her, like organizing a date and never showing up, ruining her wedding dress, spreading rumors about her to all my relatives, making fun of her to her face, etc. Fuck yes. That's a good mother right there. I don't know how she pumped out this absolute piece of shit of a man, but like, W response to your son cheating on his wife with somebody who could be his daughter's older sister. My wife took the high route and forgave all of that, only speaking highly of my daughter, even to her friends. She'll brag about how pretty and amazing my daughter is and how she's sure my daughter will accept her when she's a bit older. So yes, my wife is a saint and an amazing person. Stop shitting on her Reddit. You got your backstory. Bro, your wife sounds delusional and stupid. If you really think that a kid is gonna grow up to like you, who you home wrecked her parents, look, I get it, you're young, but like, you can only be so young and so stupid. It's giving brain dead. It's giving frontal lobe not fully developed yet. Second edit, I will keep my daughter's fun and try to add enough money for private school. If she doesn't apologize and consider my wife her family, though, she won't be getting it. I'd rather her be hostile to me and hate me rather than my wife, since I fucked up, but my wife is feeling guilty over something that's not her mistake. So fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I think she was groomed, but I think if you're 20 years old, you should be able to put together that you shouldn't home wreck a family. I know a couple people in chat want me to show sympathy for OP's wife, but like, no. Don't get me wrong. Should she be getting groomed? Absolutely not. But I think you also need to be at a level where like, if if this dude comes to you and is like, hey, by the way, I've been lying to you this whole time. I actually have a wife that I've been cheating on with you. I feel like at 20, that should be sussed out of anything. I'm not saying show her sympathy. I'm saying the mother's taking out her frustrations on the girl and not her piece of shit son. Isn't her taking out the frustrations on the wife the same as kind of taking out on her son? I see what you guys are saying. Like, maybe she should be like doing the fuck shit directly to her son. But I also think you can get to the son by fucking with his wife. I think it's the same, y'all. If you have somebody in your family who fucks up the family dynamic, I have no sympathy for them. Somebody who enables cheating? Absolutely not, bro. Listen, could they maybe hard focus OP better? Yeah, sure, they could. Do I think what they're doing to her is wrong? Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. She shouldn't be getting hit on by a 32-year-old, and there's a lot of power dynamics at play here. But also, like a lot of people are saying in chat, at 20 years old, you should know that it is not okay to home wreck. I think it's 95% blame on OP, 5% on the new wife. I think y'all are being way too kind to her. Listen, y'all, I know I bring this up sometimes, but I genuinely believe this is a gender thing. I think if the genders were switched, y'all would have no problem with OP's mom and daughter shitting on them. I'm just gonna say it. I think because it's like the man, we want to hold the man more accountable. And I'm just identifying that they're both horrible human beings who deserve to be fucked with. I look at like a 60-40 split. I would say the same, Emily. But if I were in the daughter's shoes, I would fuck with my dad and with his new wife. I would be like, let me make y'all's life miserable until you disown me. They're not harassing OP, they're harassing the wife. They should also harass OP. And I also think by harassing the wife, you're also kind of indirectly harassing OP. I don't know why y'all are going to bat for her right now. That's fucking crazy to me. And I do genuinely believe if the roles were reversed here, we would have no sympathy for him. If OP's wife was a dude, we'd be like, yeah, fucking harass him. I don't get it. I think you guys are very much defending them. Edit 3. So a lot of shit went down after I posted this, or because I posted this actually. My wife called my daughter's mother because she felt bad about the situation and is sad about my relationship with my daughter. She insisted on the remaining money in the account, about $45,000, goes to my daughter in a separate fund controlled by her mother. Her mother didn't take that well and hung up on my wife after telling her that she didn't need her charity. My wife now won't talk to me because she feels that I put her in a bad position and should have told her before that the money was my daughter's, because she figured that it was just extra money I had left over and not my daughter's fund. She says that I caused unnecessary drama and could have handled the situation way better, and that she's trying her best to fix what I broke, but she's exhausted. She's currently packing to go stay with her parents for the time being, so that's that. Damn, so he didn't even give her the full context? Oh, yeah, I guess he didn't specify where the money was going to. Oh, that does kind of put the wife in a little bit of an awkward situation. This is what I'm saying. Leave the OP wife, run away. Like, I know she's still young, bro, but get out of there. This is crazy. Like, if you're already unaccepted in his life this much by the people that are most important to him, like, you need to leave. My ex-wife is furious at me because my wife called her and she didn't want to hear my wife's bitch voice. She blew up at me for taking everything so far and is blaming me for ruining everyone's happiness. She says that I can't fix anything anymore and not to even worry about my daughter's fun because she didn't raise her daughter to get on all four knees and beg, and that she has everything figured out for her daughter now. She thanked me for putting everything in perspective and that I'm no longer permitted to visit or contact my daughter. In parentheses, she has full custody. I'm now sitting here typing all this out and figuring out ways to contest custody. So that's what's happening in my life right now. I just don't get how everything got all messed up when my heart is in the right place. I don't feel wrong. Oh my God. He just sounds so unself-aware. I can't believe it, bro. I hope that man's life just fucking falls apart. Bro has zero IQ. I don't even know if I can call it IQ. He's like not self-aware, but he's also just not aware in general. It's like he's like an airhead. The I don't feel wrong is so crazy. Like, I feel like we would call him a narcissist, right? But it's probably the weirdest narcissist I've ever seen. It's not like him being like, oh, my shit don't stank. It's him being like, oh, I did some stuff, but like, it's not my fault. Like, there's just an overall general lack of accountability here from him. Help, I made really horrible choices and everyone hates me now. But then also at the end of that, I made horrible choices, but it's not my fault. fault. And everybody hates me now. It's so crazy, man. He's like dumb. He's too dumb to be a narcissist. He's like unaware of everything. And he's got the mindset of, if I didn't mean to do it or mean to make people mad, they're not allowed to be mad. That's a great way to put it, Raya. Like, I don't even know if they have a word for this yet. We need to give this guy like a new diagnosis and name it after him. Just the most brain dead ass mentality about anything that you've done in your life. Like, bro, your life is crumbling because of your decisions, and you can't put together that maybe your decisions were what led to your downfall. And like the end of him being like, well, now I got to figure out a way to contest custody, when he was just talking about literally cutting off his daughter because she called him out on his shit and doesn't like his wife because it's the person that he cheated on her mother with. It's just so brain dead. R/relationship advice. Girlfriend hasn't talked to me in 2 days after driving incident. We have a 27 female girlfriend and a 25 male OP. We're both grad students at a large school with the roads running through. Cars and bikes share. Cars aren't meant to overtake cyclists on campus. I was running late a few days ago and tried to overtake a cyclist. I know I shouldn't have, but I thought there was plenty of room and it would just be one time. Cyclist turned out to be my girlfriend. She was really pissed, yelling about how I drive like a dipshit and terrified her, and I'm going to kill someone doing that. Hasn't talked to me since. How do I fix this? In parentheses, outside of promising to be more considerate driver, which I have done via text, but she ignored. To be honest, I think the biggest mistake here is not being able to identify a cyclist who's your girlfriend. Should you not be doing that? Yeah. If we're gonna sit here and be like, oh, you're the devil for making a questionable driving maneuver, I feel like we've all made questionable driving maneuvers if you're a person who drives. It's more of the fact that it turned out to be your girlfriend. Like, if this was a stranger, this wouldn't have even been a Reddit post. Don't get me wrong. Like, if there's a cyclist in the road, you need to be safe. But that being said, if you're holding up the road as a cyclist, you need to get over and let people pass you. Me personally, I know that's not the rules of the road, but like, I do think sometimes cyclists are like, well, I'm a cyclist and therefore I can fucking block traffic. And I think that's kind of annoying. Cyclists are entitled to use the road too, even if it's annoying. Yes, 100%. But like, also, I think you need to be aware of like, if you're holding up traffic, like at least be like, pull off to the side, you know? Not a devil, just an idiot. That's how I feel, Marmonodes. Like, I'm still like, bro, how did you look at this cyclist and you didn't go, oh, that's my girlfriend? Like, don't you know what your girlfriend looks like from behind? Don't you know what her bike looks like? Cynthia, from my understanding, this is a shared road. And like, also, he wasn't very descriptive of like how close he came to hitting this person. Like, he never said. He just said like, oh, I overtook them and then they got mad because I'm not supposed to overtake them. Maybe he did safely overtake and pass her, but she was just pissed because he wasn't supposed to do that. Cyclists can be very annoying, but you're also driving a 1,000-pound car and they have no protection besides maybe a helmet. You can be annoyed and also safely overtake and pass. I agree. And like, who knows? Maybe he did safely overtake and pass, but it sounds like she's just mad because he wasn't supposed to be doing that. I don't know if I would have put that in Am I the Devil? I would have put that in Am I a fucking moron? Like, how did you not know that that was your girlfriend? I think this one's kind of mid for an Am I the Devil post, especially a very upvoted Am I the Devil post. Like, I mean, this shit got 1.1k upvotes for what? Wait, okay, so there is like a little comment here from OOP's comments that someone collected. Have you apologized in real life? I tried when she was yelling at me immediately after, but she wasn't really receptive. Cars aren't meant to overtake cyclists. It's not a law or anything. It's just discouraged because we have narrow roads in a really hilly area. I know like legally you probably have the same rights to the road, but like, dude, if you're gonna go slow in a spot where people are traditionally gonna go fast, you can't sit there and expect them not to try to pass you. Don't get me wrong, you have a right to the road, but you also have a right to be respectful of all the other things happening on the road. You can't just go on the road and then expect that everybody has to cater towards you and your needs. Don't get me wrong, be safe. If you are gonna overtake a bike, don't go fast. Don't get super close to them if you can avoid it. But like, also, if you're on a bike, bro, make it easy for someone to overtake you. R/parenting. How do I help daughter get past childhood abuse? So I've been recently working things out with my 16-year-old daughter. When she was around 5 or 6 years old, I started hitting her and said many things that I now regret over her grades, piano, etc. Before that, she was very extroverted and outgoing, but then she started to become extremely introverted and had a lot of trouble making friends and socializing. Her grades were awful and she got bullied a lot at school. Now we have a very competitive social circle and everyone else's kids were extremely intelligent academic-wise and constantly had all A+, while our daughter had C's and D's. Of course, none of the other parents hit their kids, which we now regret. We went through some of the things that really upset her, and here are the top rangers. One of the things that she's mentioned that really scared her was this. Once in grade 3, she threatened to K-word herself after a very bad math test. We were at my mom and dad's house, and I was very upset that she threatened to K-word herself over nothing. So I gave her a pair of scissors and gave her 2 options. either K-word herself and then I'd K-word myself after, or I'd K-word her and K-word myself after. Oh, but good thing OP added 5 words that completely erase all the awful shit that we just read. Once again, I regret this. Oh, well, if you regret it, what the fuck? That is an actually batshit crazy thing to say to your kid in response to them having thoughts of suicide. Are you kidding me? She also mentioned that I would chase her around the house with chopsticks or hit or yell at her in front of other parents and kids, which made her feel embarrassed in front of the childhood friend she grew up with. Damn, bro, where are the other parents fucking calling CPS, man? That's insane. Another instance was how she wasn't allowed to cry too much at home or complain about the bullying. In grade 4, some kids made racist remarks at her and she came home crying and wishing they died and called them bitches. I didn't react in the best way and hit her for it. And she mentioned she had difficulty opening up to me afterwards about her problems. Finally, she thought our family was experiencing massive financial issues and a divorce. She thought? Or you actually were? Oh my God, I can't believe this keeps going. There's so much story left. Just absolutely awful. I can't believe people like this are allowed to have kids. Holy fuck. When she was maybe in grade 5 or so, my husband lost millions of dollars in a poorly thought out business venture. Understandably, I argued with him many times and unfortunately did throw some things while she was around. I threatened a divorce, and during this time, she spent a lot of time with the couple that owned a laundromat nearby, and she's mentioned that sometimes she wished they were her parents instead. Another thing she's never really recovered from due to this experience is how she dresses very poorly and lives as if she thought she were living on food stamps. What an absolute fucking awful mother. When we initially talked about this, she mentioned she didn't like my attitude. I kept telling her I could atone for it with my death, and I did get quite emotional and broke down and started crying and telling her it was all my fault. It's giving the traditional, I must just be the worst mom ever reaction. The suicidal threats are insane. Like, if somebody tells you you're doing something wrong or that there's something wrong with them and your answer is, oh, well, then I'm going to K-word myself. You need therapy. You need to not be a parent. I am lost for words. She mentioned I sounded sarcastic and not at all sincere and that it was tough how she had to comfort me instead, especially since she was the one who had went through all of this. I'm not proud of it, but I get emotional whenever we try to have talks about this and lose my composure. She has a lot of difficulty making friends still. Most people assume she comes from a very poor and uncultured family because she constantly dresses in ratty clothing that looks like they came from a donation bin and is always very quiet, which is especially detrimental since she goes to a preppy private school. Neither she nor her brother are close with their father, who is constantly away on business or golfing trips, and they were both at some point of their lives raised by a nanny, which may have caused them to further alienate themselves from us. What does the mother do all day? Did she say she works or something? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it, bro. Why do these people have kids if they're just gonna not be parents? I don't understand it. She prefers the company of animals over humans too, and this bothers me. I have no idea how to separate her from her pets. When she's upset, she spends hours in the pet's room instead of talking with people, even though she's got severe allergies to her animals. It's also hurtful. Sometimes I feel like she loves her rabbit more than me. I mean, shit, bro, the rabbit's giving her way more reasons to love it than you are. Oh my God. You're just giving her reasons not to love you. Of course she loves the rabbit more. Since I've stopped hitting her, our relationship has improved somewhat, and so have her grades and her social life, but she's becoming increasingly rude and disobedient towards me and her father, often lashing out or having temper tantrums over the smallest things. She's also paranoid about people standing outside her line of sight and often skips school, screams when people enter her room and tries to get them out as soon as possible, or has panic attacks, none of which have occurred while I'd been hitting her and yelling at her. Oh no, my kid is doing normal teenager shit at a normal teenage age of 16 years old. And yeah, she has severe panic attacks that probably resulted in me hitting her, but at least when I was hitting her, this wasn't happening. How to speed run no contact with your kids 101 right here. That's fucking crazy activity, man. I realize that I have made a mistake after her brother moved to another country, despite her father and I's displeasure, and we do not wish to lose another child. I think that's gone out the window, dog. I hope this child fucking leaves you and never talks to you or the father ever again. You guys sound like dog shit parents. A psychologist diagnosed her with anxiety, depression, ADD, autism, a memory problem, and some other learning disorders. But she mentioned she didn't want to make a big deal and downplayed a lot of her issues in front of the psychologist for fear that it would affect her career in the future. I do admit I didn't take the diagnosis seriously at first, My husband and I didn't do any research and dismissed it as a way for the psychologist to make more money. But my daughter's been getting increasingly more agitated and often isolates herself in her room for many hours at a time, or had mental breakdowns, or mentioned that she wanted to K-word herself over math, which has never been her strongest subject. Thankfully, she passed and is no longer taking the subject. One thing that bothers me is how normal she acts around other people. She could definitely pass for a normal teenager now, although she was quite strange in her preteen years. However, at home, she's often a nightmare to deal with all of her screaming and paranoia. Damn, it almost sounds like if you give your kid trauma by raising them very poorly and hitting them, they're going to have more issues as they grow up. She also stopped playing piano on grounds that she had too many bad memories associated with it. And even when I try to coax her into it, she says she's uncomfortable playing, especially with people around. Can anyone provide advice on how to fix our relationship? Edit, she's extremely uncomfortable talking about it to a family counselor, so that's why we're resorting to the anonymity of the internet. I'm gonna be so real. I don't think it's just about the math. I think if that's what you're focusing on, you're focused on the wrong thing, because like the parents have clearly not given her any tools to cope with stress in a healthy way, because whenever the kid was showing negative emotions, the parents' reactions were to hit the child. I mean, I don't even think this is like above Reddit's pay grade. I think it really is, you should be in jail. Like, I honestly feel bad. Like she was saying, like, oh, we would hit our kid in front of other parents and kids. Like, my thing is, I wish one of the parents would have called CPS on them, because what the fuck? This poor girl, man. I don't know, man. This is insane. I really hope the daughter can make it past the 2 years she has left to have to live with them and moves out and gets herself some help. This is just sad. The daughter is literally being set up to not know how to handle anything in this world because her parents didn't want to be fucking parents. That's so incredibly awful. A lot of people ignore it because they think they're still better off with their biological parents than in a system. I mean, that's actually arguable, but maybe not these parents at least. The call to action here is, can anyone provide advice on how to fix our relationship? I don't even think there's advice. I think that's just, you done fucked up. Someone said you have traumatized your child. She does not owe you to do family therapy with her until you have really worked on yourself. Are you in therapy? Your behavior was behind the pale and you need to figure out why you did what you did and be able to make a plan to be a healthier adult. Then maybe, just maybe, she will go to the family therapy with you. Obi said no, but she suggested it. When she called CPS on me, they did suggest family therapy, but only if everyone was comfortable. You guys were kind of cooking with CPS wasn't doing shit. Yeah, this is how I feel, bro. This comment right here, I'll be blunt. You are a shit parent. She needs therapy. You're probably a lost cause. That's the only answer. This is a comment elaborating on when CPS was called on them. OP said the social worker didn't see fit to do much other than suggest family therapy. So I don't think it's that bad. As harsh as this sounds, sometimes I feel like she's exaggerating her emotions to make us feel guilty and to get more things from us. She made a post about it, and I feel like that's the bare minimum of what she's willing to do and what she's willing to take accountability for. She's exaggerating her emotions to make us feel guilty. As if you don't have something to feel guilty about. Your child has traumatic issues because you beat them instead of nurturing them like a parent should. Poor kid, man. I can't believe kids have to fucking deal with this shit. Just a perfect example of somebody who should have never had kids. No person who thinks like this and has the emotional capacity like this person should ever have kids, in my opinion. Like, this is just such a dog shit parenting style. You are literally destined to pump out kids who are messed up in the head if this is how you parent kids. How to show empathy as a pro-lifer to someone that feels they were harmed by pro-life. 20 years ago, one of my closest relatives experienced a pregnancy that even many pro-life people believe is an edge case or exception. Pregnant at 12, following an essay by an adult. My extended family was very devout and pro-life, so an abortion was refused. The pregnancy ended in stillbirth. I cannot believe your close family could experience something like this and you can still be pro-life this hard. Like, what the actual fuck, bro? I'm sorry, but if you're pro-life after a situation like that happens to your family, even just in general, you just really are a shit human being. I don't care who you are, bro. If you think that a 12-year-old should carry to term a child that was put in them by an adult who SA'd them, you are the bottom of the barrel scum of this earth. She had a lot of complications from the pregnancy that led to several surgeries and procedures as a teenager to try to fix things, but she ended up with fertility issues. In the time she's been married, she's had several more surgeries and other procedures and 4 miscarriages. All of this to say that she still has constant mental and physical struggles. In all honesty, she's probably struggling more psychologically now than she was then. In the last few years, she made comments that she should have been allowed to have an abortion and was forced to birth that baby. All ending with how it all ruined her life. I mean, yeah, I think her claims are pretty on par. She's my cousin, more like a sister, really. I'm only 2 years older than her. Watching her struggles over our entire lives has been the greatest shelf breaker I've had to face. I know I had doubts, my whole family has. Minds have changed over this. It all breaks my heart. I'm often the first one sitting with her in the hospital when another emergency happens. I don't know what to do when she talks like this. Ultimately, I believe abortion is never morally justifiable. This person that I would literally consider a sister had this awful thing happen to her and then was forced to push out the baby that resulted from that awful thing, but still don't think it's morally justifiable. I can't fucking believe that. I actually cannot fucking believe that. That's so insane. I know why I believe it. I want to be there for her and to be on her side. I just don't know how to do that without claiming or making her think anyway that I do actually believe an abortion should have happened and she is the victim of her first child. But anything I can think to say to respond sounds cold and lecturing. She doesn't need that, and it's not helpful. Does anyone here have ideas? God, you know what, guys? I need to see what these fucking pro-life morons are saying, bro. In cases like these, there's little you can say if you have to state what you believe and your disagreement with what she says, but do it briefly. Don't try to debate her. If she wants to vent, let her. In time, it might exhaust her resentment. Who knows? Otherwise, I think it'd be better to let your actions speak. Just keep being there for her and do so for the same reasons you are pro-life. That is because you care about other human beings and their lives. You care about other human beings and their lives. Hey man, what about the life of this cousin who literally had her life ruined because she was forced to have a child instead of getting an abortion? Hey, what about that life? Oh, that life doesn't matter. You know what matters more than that? The life of a cell, not even a life, a fucking cell that somebody else pumped into her at the age of 12 unwillingly. That's actually so fucking insane of them to say. I hate it. 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 They're all a bunch of fucking morons. Just fucking so gross that you would make a 12-year-old carry a child to term that resulted from the child being R-worded. I'm sorry, but like, if you believe that, get the fuck off my streams, get the fuck off my podcast. You are objectively a bad person. I don't need a view from a person like that. Pro-life until the baby becomes an actual life. They don't give a shit, dude. They just want to preach their sky daddy and fucking impose their beliefs on other people. Freedom of speech, freedom to do whatever they want, but only for themselves and their stupid little religion, their stupid little beliefs. Fuck them, bro. The fact that she can't advocate for herself and no one would listen to her. They don't give a fuck about the life of that kid. That's crazy, man. I can't believe those are actual words someone typed. Yeah, my basically sister had the worst thing happen to her and now it's drastically diminishing her quality of life as an adult, but I still want to tell her that what they did to her was the right thing to do. Unfucking real. Am I the a-hole for punishing my daughter for not coming to my wedding? I got married last weekend in my parents' house, which has been in the family for generations. For health reasons, only immediate family was there. My daughter, 16 female, had been calling her new stepmom, 21 female, names like homewrecker and prostitute, and I've been patient with her. She assumes I left her late mother because she had breast cancer. However, I did not leave her mother for having cancer. Nobody decides to have cancer. However, her late mother kept using her illness to devalue me and my sense of identity. She'd criticize the way I was taking care of her and even stuff like my hygiene or the cologne I was wearing. She made me feel worthless and I felt like she was projecting her own insecurities by saying the smell of my cologne was disgusting because she never made an effort to keep herself up. And despite the fact that I objectively found her disgusting sometimes, I stuck by her until my self-esteem was destroyed. I would work hard closing deals all day and be acknowledged for my efforts at work, yet I'd go home and she'd criticize and nag about every ounce of my being. I met her stepmom when I was in a dark place. She made me feel like I could be myself again. My wife made me feel unattractive and sexless, and with my new wife, I felt alive. Just the fact she appreciated me and felt physical chemistry with me made me want to do anything for her, to want to provide for her. Oh my God, I didn't even fucking clock that the new stepmom was 21 female. I just kind of breezed over that. Yo, I was thinking in my head, I was like, how much do you guys want to fucking bet she's young? She is. I'm just dumb. I did not read. I mean, we don't know how OP is, but if he has a 16 female daughter, bro has to be at least in his late 30s, early 40s. Dude, imagine fucking ragging on your wife who has literal cancer and then cheating on her with a 21-year-old and then blaming her for that. That's actually the most fucking disgusting thing I think I've ever read. Wow. Just wow. People with terminal illnesses can be a-holes too. I have personal experience. Yes, 100%. And what I will say is like, if everything that OP is saying is true, it doesn't sound like she was that nice to him. Does that give him an excuse to cheat on her with a 21-year-old? I don't think so. When your new wife could literally be the sister of your daughter, we're crossing some lines here, bro. That is on what the fuck are we doing here territory. That's when I decided not to bullshit my wife anymore and file for divorce. Since then, my daughter's relatives from her mom's side have been poisoning her against me. Last weekend, when I and her stepmom went to the site of the wedding early, we expected to see her drive to the wedding later, but instead she ended up going to stay with her aunt. Everyone asked where she was, and there was chaos from my side of the family locating her. As punishment, I took her car and allowance away, and I've taken her phone away until I feel like she can learn to be respectful towards someone I very much love, and that it will be impossible for her to do that if she keeps having to hear from her late mom's side. What? And that it will be impossible for her to do that if she keeps having to hear from her late mom's side of the family. So you want to isolate her from the family that's saying, maybe it was not okay for your dad to be cheating on your terminally ill mother with a 21-year-old. I really hope this 16-year-old goes for emancipation or some shit, because what the fuck? My parents have called and said that I was being too harsh. However, even when things are tough, I feel I cannot let a child of mine believe they can just do whatever they want. Hey man, that sounds like what you're fucking doing. Sounds like they're just following in your footsteps. Except for the difference is they're following their moral compass and you're following your penis. That is just diabolical, man. Castrate immediately. I wish OP's parents were more fucking mean to him. Just evil shit. Imagine doing this and then thinking you're right. Exactly. Y'all, that was just red flag after red flag. There was not a single like, oh, hey, OP, maybe you're right about this. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's okay for like somebody to be hounding you who's sick. It's an explanation. It's not an excuse. But that being said, you like work with them on it. The solution isn't, I need to go find someone else. And like, let's be so honest here. I am not really feeling like I completely trust his judgment here. I really do think he was like, dealing with my sick wife is kind of a hassle. And this 21-year-old wants to sleep with me. Like, I'm pretty sure it's more of that narrative, but he's just writing this narrative to make him look better.